All right, we're back again. Um, we got our app fired up here. Today we're going to be building the Apple Wallet app, which is going to be pretty interesting. I'm not sure how far I'm going to get, but if you guys have it on your phone, follow it for reference. But yeah, we're going to use this one package called a Sliver sticky header package right here. I'll put this link in the description. But this is going to help us out a little bit with some stuff. So with organizing the cards. So I got my app fired up here. It's working. So let's go ahead and start the timer. Let's go. All right. So, all right. First off, we're going to get rid of this app bar. So I don't think we're going to need it. So that we're going to remove. Let's remove these comments. Let's pull out this body center one because we don't need that either. This is actually going to be a custom scroll view. We're going to have some slivers in there, and we also don't need this floating action button here. Right, don't need that. Don't need this increment counter. Don't need this int here. All right. So now we should have nothing on the screen. Cool. All right. So now we're going to, I think I already put it in my pub spec. Yep. So you're going to want to dub this into your pub spec and then run Flutter pub get so you can download all the files. And now you'll be able to import this right here. All right, and then inside this custom scroll view, just so we can get an idea as to what's going on, we're going to put this sliver sticky header. Right, and inside there, we're going to have this header here. Where it says header 0, we're just going to mock this up to say something like CVS. Right, and that CVS is going to be red. And the background of this is going to be white. And actually what we're going to do before we dive even that far is we're going to change the whole theme of the app to dark mode, just because I'm in the dark mode today. So in this main, right here, theme data, dark. No, actually, I think maybe we do it here. Brightness. I don't remember how to do it this way. Whoops, what am I probably have something in here it's not referencing. I thought it was just theme data.dark. No? Maybe I gotta rerun the whole app, probably. That's good. Cool. Alright, so we got that. CVS is up there. And so now we're going to just do a couple things just to make sure we're okay. So we're going to put up a safe area at the top. So it's going to bump that down. Alright, cool. So now we got this and that's working. Alright, so right there, now we're going to, just so we can see what we're kind of starting to build here, is where it says CVS, then we're going to put something like Eventbrite. Now these would be logos and things, but right now it's not. So this is going to be something like an orange, right? So now we can get this, and then we can have it kind of do something like that, right? So now I'm going to have my cards there. So from that point, we are going to continue on here. This one, we're going to put some, wrap this one in some padding on the outsides. Right, so that kind of brings them in a little bit, okay. And the good thing about this wallet app is almost everything that's in the scroll. I'm not going to get the scroll perfect just because I'm not. It's really more about just mocking up stuff. But with the wallet app, it seems like there's a lot, but it all shares the same physics. It all seems the same scrolling behaviors. So what we can do is we can take this Sliver sticky header, put it up here, call it something a lot bigger, and we can use the scaffold color as the background, and we can say that this is wallet, and instead of using this, we can call it as like something really big. Nope, like that, and maybe like, I don't know, just try that. Yeah, see, but it all has the same physics. It all is going to work the same way. So once I put a sliver in here, then this will stick once it hits the top. So it'll be a little bit different, but I think it'll be. I think it's gonna work. So let's try this. Let's do this. Let's make this nice and bold. Right. Yeah, so that's going to stick up there. I'm going to just come and make this a little bit different. So I think I can do a I want to modify this theme, but I think I can wrap this whole thing. Here we go, yep. So now I can do scaffold background colors, black. I think this should work. Yeah, now we're talking, right? Cool. All right, so now we can do something like that. Now we're cooking with gas here. Okay. So change that. You can see I'm just kind of tweaking things quickly, easily. Just trying to get something that looks like what I'm working with here. Right, what I'm looking at on my phone. So I also have put the Font Awesome library in, which I'll show you how I did that. But that allows me to do things like this. Import this. Oh, actually, hold on. There we go. So it allows me to import Font Awesome icons, which is pretty cool. Whoops, forgot to print. And so what I did there is I have this app icons. So in app I have icons, right? And this outlines my font families for my Font Awesome icons. Right? And then I have a list of all the icons here. So I can just type in app icons dot any of these, and it'll pull this icon data. And when it pulls something like icon data light, right, it pulls this, which is it's just extending this icon data class here, and it pulls in a new font family with this reference here. So it's pretty much just inputting an icon data, but it's referencing a font file, which is here. So these are the fonts here. I have them in my assets folder, so you can always reference them. So yeah, so that's kind of how that works, and it gives you a full font library, super easy. Anytime you type in an icon, whether there's icon data right here, so you see this icon class takes icon data, right? So I'm just injecting my app icon stuff in there. Anyways, so here, I make this colors white, and then on this row, I'm going to space them out. So on the main axis alignment, I'm going to do main axis space between, and that's going to kick them all over like that. And this, I probably want to be plus circle solid. There we go. That's looking all right. Actually, it's not looking that great, to be honest. I'm going to actually take it out of this icon button, and I'm going to change the size much bigger. There we go. That's better. And okay, so I think that's looking good. This has got that, so I'm going to knock that over. That way this margin on the horizontal now is 24, because I got 8 plus a 16, which that's probably not a smart thing to do. So I'm just going to take that down and make this all 24. That way we all line up there nice and pretty. Okay, so let's knock this down to something like 60. And then in this sliver, so we can do something fun, I'm going to do a sliver to box adapter with a container that's got a height of like 20, just so it can act. Alright, I gotta go a little bit bigger then. Like that. Right, so now it's sticky, and then it goes. Sweet. Alright, so now we're getting somewhere. So I'm going to take this little one here, I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to say this is going to be build that header, just to keep it separate. And then here, I'm going to have widget build my header, just so I can keep everything organized and clean. All right. So now I'm going to start building these cards. Now these cards that we have underneath, they're all going to be pretty much the same, give or take a little bit. Colors, logos, data, stuff like that. So I'm just going to take the CVS one and build a card. So I'm going to say build card. And then here, widget build card. I'm going to execute that, do something like this. Cool. And I'm also using Flutter code as my font in VS Code, which gives you cool ligatures like this with the arrow. It also does stuff that where if you do 3 equals, it gives you stuff like that. It does really nice ligatures to keep your code nice and clean looking. It's called Flutter code. All right, so now that I have this, I'm going to start inputting some stuff here. So I'm going to have a string, which is going to be the, well, that'll really be the logo, but I'm just going to call it logo for now, and we're just going to put in strings because um, you can really put in like whatever you want. Um, so maybe I'll eventually change that, or take the whatever. Okay. So now we can put a color, and that'll be the whatever. For now, it'll just be logo color, and then we're going to also have a color which is the card color. And then we're going to have some data off to the right, but we'll deal with that later. So card color, put that there. Logo color, we'll put that there. And logo, we already got that. Okay. And then here we're going to have sliver. And for now, we're just going to do the sliver to box adapter because I'm just dealing with trying to get this thing to scroll right. So that's hard enough. Okay. Missing a parens. Okay. Cool. So now this build card is missing some stuff. So we got the logo, which is going to say CVS. We have the logo color, which is going to be colors.red. And we have the card, which is going to be colors white. Right? All right, so that's going to build our first one. And then we can do Eventbrite. It's going to be white. This is going to be orange. What else do we want to do? JetBlue. Right? JetBlue. This is going to be like a dark blue. I'm not sure what other. Maybe blue-gray. Sure, whatever. And it's going to be colors white for the card. And we can do American Airlines. This one's just going to be regular blue. No, this one's going to be white, and this one is going to be blue. All right, let's see what that looks. All right, so now we're starting to get somewhere, right? Cool. All right, so now you can see that this container here with a height of 20 is kind of throwing a couple things off, right? Because they need to be stacked really tight together to look like they're kind of all sitting on top of each other. So let's start dealing with that. So what happens when we make this color the same as the card color? Right, what that's going to do is going to fill in that gap, right? So that's exactly what we want. So this, I don't know how much this actually has to be for it to actually work, but I think it doesn't need to be much. It all depends on how this guy built this stuff. Yeah, see, that's a little better because now it's sticking. It's kind of what we want. But we also don't want this bounce effect, so we're going to take care of that real quick into this custom scroll view. In the physics, we're going to use a clamped one. So all that means is like it's going to have the native scroll of an Android, which is going to make that little like whoopy thing, circly thing up the top and bottom pop out. But it'll get these little lines from going away. You know, I'm going to comment this out because I'm not entirely sure we want to do that yet, because then in order to use anything like this, it would have to be, you have to have a lot of cards in there. So I'm just going to start mocking this up. So I'm going to put this as 16, and I'm going to change this height down to something like a 46, and then instead of aligning this to the center left, I'm going to align it to the bottom left, and let's just see what happens. Okay, it's a little better. So now, maybe if I change this to 40, and I change this to 24, all right, now we're starting to even things out, and things are going to act a lot differently. You can see that, right? So it's starting to get a little better. So now what I want to do is I want to create that depth. with that depth you get is those curved edges of the card in the top left and top right corners. So that's going to be on this container here. So I'm going to use some decoration. So with that I got to remove the color, put into the box decoration here, and then I'm going to do border radius, but I'm only going to do top left, and that takes a radius circular, and top right. Alright, so that's going to give us something that looks like this. Sweet. So now they're starting to look a little bit more like cards, right? A little bit. Let's change this font weight to bold just so looks a little nicer. Actually see what we're doing here. Alright, cool. So now we have this issue to where we need to somehow imitate a stack, right? So that's going to be kind of an issue. But what we can do is we can fudge it for now because we're just looking, this is strictly mock-up, right? This is strictly how quick can we mock up a design, see if it works. So that's what we're going to try to do. So in order to do that, right, we have our header here, which has the card name, and we have our sliver here, which is kind of that placeholder that we've been messing with. So we don't really want to mess with the placeholder, we want to mess with the header. And inside this header, what we need to do is we need to fill in these little black corners with the card that was before it. So if we were building this with an index, we could just say index -1 color, but we can't. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna fudge it. So we're gonna use a stack. Inside that stack, we're gonna have a container. That container is gonna have a height of the amount of our border radius, which is 16, so it can cover the whole radius. And then it's just gonna have a color, and that color is going to be previous color, right, which isn't defined yet. So we're going to come here, we're going to take previous color and put previous color. So now every build card is going to need a previous color at the end, right? So this top one, CVS previous color, doesn't have one, right? So we're just going to use the scaffold. The orange one has a previous color of white. The jet blue one has a previous color of orange. And then the blue one has a previous color of white. So now let's do this, and now we have this mocked up thing that looks like cards. Right? Here we do. It's pretty cool. So now we could come through and continue to build this stuff out. We could even do like a double stack. Obviously, this isn't the way to do it. I think that's pretty clear. But, you know, what we have here is something that's pretty cool that works pretty well. So the other thing that I'd like to do is maybe I mean, I guess we can just build out these cards a couple more. That way we have a bunch more cards. Obviously this CVS one we need to change to the blue. Right, so now we got that. Sweet. Now we got my cards. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a detail of a card, but oh boy. Let's put in some data over here on the right on each of them, just because that's easy enough. So let's go back up here to our header. All right, we get this font bold. Let's kind of dial these in a little bit more, even though these should be more like logos, which we can do. We can take this and look for the American Airlines blue color. So that would be, let's see, American Airlines. Sorry, I'm Googling off the screen here. Looks like I got a hex here. Let's see what it looks like. So instead of colors blue on this one, we're going to use a hex, and I think it's color 0x. This. Let's see what that looks like. That is not blue. United, Southwest Airlines, American Airlines. Here we go. Damn, I can't even get a American Airlines blue color. Give me something. Well, I thought this would be a lot easier just to get American Airlines blue, but it's proving to be not as easy. Maybe I can just steal it with the inspector. This is kind of how I steal it. I do this, I use the picker, I come over here and I grab it. So let's try that. That's better. All right, cool. So we'll use this. We'll come in here, colors blue, colors blue, colors blue, colors blue. If any of you guys don't know what I'm doing here, I'm holding down Alt while continually to select, so I can change them all out at the same time. That's a VS Code thing. How about Eventbrite Orange? FF7. Let's see here. All right, we're about halfway through. All right, so let's go to colors orange. So this one, I'm going to do it a little differently. So here we go. So with that one, I selected one, and then I have a shortcode created for command 1 to select all instances of that thing that I have selected. So that's kind of what I did there. All right. So this is looking a little better. So now let's do some text on the right-hand side of each card. So here I have my stack. That's taking care of my card look, right? So I really just want to deal with this thing here. And now I have this text here that I'm going to put in a row. And I'm just going to duplicate it and say the main axis alignment is space between. Same thing like I did before, right? Except on this side here, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So we have to treat this a little differently because the data that's on the right-hand side seems to always be in a column, which means there's a subtitle and a title of the data. So I really don't want to mess with space between and columns, since I feel like columns need a fixed width, or I just like to keep that cleaner. So I'll give the text on the left as much space as it needs, and I'll let the column just be inherent to whatever's inside. So here we're going to have this cross axis is going to be to the right, keep everything off to the side, which is, sorry, cross, axis, come on, alignment is going to be an end. The main axis is going to be at the top, which is the start. Axis alignment, start. And the main axis size is going to be min, just to keep that tidy. All right, and then here we're going to have something that says like meta title, right? And that's going to be something that's like maybe 12. It's probably going to be something in like the 500 range. And this is going to also be in the logo color, it seems. And then right below that, we're going to have maybe we'll make this meta subtitle. And then this will be, this is actually quite large. So that'll be like 18, and it's going to be, yeah, same here, medium, except it looks like maybe this subtitle is the logo color, but with like an opacity of like 70%, something like that. All right, so now we need to put these things in here. So we'll put a string, meta subtitle, a string of meta title. Cool. So now that's going to error out everything here. And now let's pull all these back. All right. So now we're going to say CBS is going to have none. Eventbrite, I'm just copying literally what's in my wallet, so you can do the same if you want. And then here it's going to say Jan 29. Here we're going to look at the word flight, and then A253, and then here we're going to do the same thing for American. Oh, whoops. Not that it matters, but this is going to go here. This one, they like to say gate F1. So whatever, let's see what that looks like. It's not bad. It's not bad. It looks like we have a couple things that have changed. So one is these things aren't centered anymore, where they used to be. So it could happen for a couple reasons. Odds are we got this row and we want the cross alignment to be at the bottom. Like that. Cool. All right, so now the logo's in there. Then we want to do the same thing for the column. Is that this main axis alignment, we didn't want it to be at the start, we actually want it to be at the bottom. And this is min, maybe we want this to be max. Nope. All right, so here, all I'm trying to do is just take these two things here, the date and the time, the gate and the thing, and center it in this card. And it's hard for me just to tell what's going on, so I'm going to open up my dev tools real quick and just paint it, just so I can see what the heck's going on, because it just seems like I'm missing something simple. So I'll show you this. All right, so here, I'm going to do debug paint. So now I can look directly into this stuff and I can see what the heck's going on. So Actually, what's happening is here's my row, right? And I have the cross axis, which is here to here, set to the end, right? So that's why JetBlue is on its baseline here. And this is actually set perfectly. But what's happening is I have this buffer here, which is my spacer, and that's not giving enough frequency there for it to kind of sit. So if I change this, instead of being end to center, you'll see here that this JetBlue will align right there with the gate, right? So that's really what we want. But when you take the paint off, it's aligned too much to the top, right? So our spacer's too big. So what we can do there is we can, instead of having this be 40 right here, we can have this be 60 maybe, and then take our spacer down to something like 8. Right? And I don't know what's going to happen to that, but I think it should be okay. So now when we take the paint off, you can see it's getting a little better. I don't even think we need to go that much. So we could even go something like this. Yeah, see how that's nice and center now, or it's getting there? There we go. There, now we're good. Sweet. So now we're starting to get a little bit more stuff in there, which is pretty cool. We can keep playing around with this, or I can put in, I'm going to put in one of the big credit cards up at the top and kind of push everything down just to see what happens. So, so I have the header there, and now I'm going to build like the Apple Cash card or something that just sits like right up here on the top. I think that'll be cool to look at. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. All right. So now under build header, I'm going to create another one of these things. These Sliver sticky headers, and I think, is that what I want to do? That is kind of how it works, but I don't really want it to collapse. So how is this working here? You know what? I think it'll work. I think it'll work. I'm just not going to pin it. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put this here, build cash card. Okay. Okay, so now I don't really need this sliver, but I mean, sorry, I do need this sliver, but I'm just not sure what it's going to be yet. So this one, this cash card is like a weird, I'm going to make it like a, shit, I don't even know, maybe something like that. Let's see. And then this one's going to be that. This one's not going to have a previous color. The height, I'm not sure yet, but that's going to be an aspect ratio thing. Then this one is going to be all circular there. This is going to be all different for the header. This is actually going to say cash. This one is going to be an icon. That'll be cool. That'll go here, that'll go there. And then over here on this side, I think that's going to be the same exact thing. So I'm going to take this text, swap out this column for it. Do it on time, 20 minutes left, cool. 0, and you need to make sure you do a slash so it doesn't take this $ into effect. This row should be centered, and then the main, oh no, I have the, never mind, expanded in there. That's what it looks like. All right, need some work. This border radius obviously is not what I wanted to do. So this one needs to go back to top left, top right. This one's got to go back. I'm just going to copy this. This takes too long. This one. Right here. Cool. All right, and then this one down here, we're going to do the same thing. Box decoration. Cool. Move this color down. This is going to be bottom left, bottom right. Now let's look at that. All right, that's cool. So this aspect ratio is gonna, obviously it needs to look like a credit card, but I don't know what that aspect ratio is, so I'm just gonna fudge it for now. This looks like it should be a little bit bigger, like that. Maybe even more. It's getting there. It's actually not bad. The font's a little different, but can deal with that. So now what's happening is we're still getting that pinned action, which is not what we want. So below this, we're going to do a margin on the bottom to space that out a little bit. And that's going to be somewhere like a 16. Maybe we should make it match. Probably match. It'll be 24. Actually, it looks like it needs a little bit more. There we go. All right, so there's our cash. Actually, it looks like this needs a little bit more to be credit card shape. Oh, that's about right. Then maybe we'll even put a border around it. Looks like it needs a border. And we'll make that, we'll do like, let's see, we'll do a, something like that maybe? Ooh, negative. How about 3? That's better. So now you can see we need to be a little bit more careful as to what the heck we're doing here. So this is actually going to be a border side. I'm going to take this away, right? And it's going to be a, sorry, not border side, sorry. Left, border, side. Color is going to be like that. Right, then we're going to have right, whoops, and like that, we're going to have bottom. Okay. Get the formatting down, and then up on the header one, we're going to do the same thing. So instead of bottom, we're going to have top. And border radius can only be given to uniform borders. Right. So what makes that any different? I think because we're trying to do borders and a border radius doesn't like that, so that's okay. You know what? Screw the border. We don't don't need stinking border. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to take the pinned off of this, or the stickiness, or whatever they call it. Yeah, sticky is going to be false. All right, so now this is actually going to go away. That. And I wish I could do some sort of cool artwork on there. Guess I could. I'm gonna see if I can push this over super quick. I'm gonna do that. Do that. Do that. I'm gonna airdrop it. Okay. And then I'm going to move it over. So downloads, I'm going to come into here, Flutter demos, wallet, assets, drag this in there. Yep. And then I'm going to say Apple BG. Okay, so that's in there. So now that's in my assets right there, Apple BG. Cool. See if we can put that in there. So now we got to put that in the pub spec so we can find it. Under assets, I don't know what this looks like in the beginning. Assets, here we go. Okay, assets. This is going to be Apple BG. I believe this should be okay. Just see if it gives me any help. Nope, of course not. All right, let's see if we can do that. Then let's see if I can add this in to my container here. Decoration image. This one is going to be an asset image. The asset name. Oh my gosh. Cannot type. Okay. This is probably going to error out just because there's always some formatting thing I always forget, but oh, almost like I know what I'm doing. All right. Now we're going to use the fit. And we're going to make sure that that covers it. Sweet. Now I'm going to change the background of this one to match this, which, again, I'm going to use my little trick to inspect something that's not even on the screen. So here, eyedrop. Actually, I guess I can't do that. I guess what I can do. How am I going to get that? How am I going to get that? How am I going to get that? The only way I know how is to open Photoshop and pick it. I would really love to do the touch events and the animations, but I'm just not good enough for that. I think that's very clear. See my lovely photos there? All right. So let's see what this is. 111. Right. So right here, right here. Look at that. All right, we got our cash card there. That's pretty sweet. Trying to think what else I should do on this in my 1 hour. I'm gonna add a bunch of these cards. I'm just gonna double up on these. So we have some more. Oops. There we go. There we go. Okay. What else should we do? What else should we do? I got 10 minutes left. Let's see. I'm gonna do just like a dummy card detail. So let's try that. So in this app, I'm going to create a new file called card.dart, and this is going to be a stateless one that's just going to be card detail, and I need to import material. Okay, and here we're going to have a child with a text that says hi. Okay, and then on these build cards, I'm just going to wrap this here. I'm going to wrap the header and a gesture detector for now. Just keep it simple. Come on, there we go. And on the on tap, I'm going to use the navigator. So here I'm going to do navigator dot push context. The route will be a material. Come on, page route, and that builder needs to consist of it should tell me, just build context. So we're going to do something like that, and then this is going to do the card detail. All right, we're going to close it, and we're going to import that. Now this card detail is going to pass some stuff, right? So instead of saying hi, it's going to say, hey, I need the card title. Right? And this is, if you make this final, then we need to make sure that we initialize it with a constructor. We can pull out all this key stuff. I never use this. Well, it's not true. I do use it, but not right now. So I'm going to do that, and then this is going to say card title here instead. And then when we pass this in, this is going to ask for a card title. And when we do that, we can use the logo string here. And when we do that, nothing's really going to happen. But when I change this, this should say Eventbrite. There we go. Right. Okay. So now, if I put this into something that actually makes sense, like a scaffold, right? And this is a body, and this app bar has an app bar that has an elevation of 0, and it has, in the leading, it has text that has the card title, right? And that is wrapped around, let's say, a flat button. Is that a thing? Yep. And this uses a label, or child, looks like child. And it has its on pressed, we'll just send it back, right? So that is just going to say, we want to, we're going to pop it, I believe. Yep, cool. So now, when you tap this, it'll bring you here, Eventbrite, and it's going to go boop, back. Cool. So now I can copy over some of this theme stuff. This theme stuff. Like that. Cool. This app bar is going to have a background color. Like that. This leading needs to be much bigger, so that we're just going to force it with a container. This one we're going to say something like that. That's not what I wanted. I need label color, text color. That's still, actually this should say done. I don't know why it won't let me change the width of this. Yeah. Maybe putting in the leading is a bad idea. So what I'll do is I will get rid of this, put this in as a title, drop that there, tell it automatically imply leading false, and then center title false. So that should kick it over there. Done. Done. Cool. All right. Actions. We can put in an icon button where the icon is ellipses. Horizontal. That color. This one, I'm just not going to have to do anything right now. So that'll be right there. Cool. I'm not even sure if I want this as a flat button. I kind of just want it as like a, yeah. Okay. Got a minute and a half. I want to get that card in there. Okay. So now I got this card title. So now I'm going to do, let's see if I can do it quickly. Okay. Oh no, that's not a thing. Style. Come on. No. Okay. We got that. Eventbrite. container height 160, color. This has to pass through this color, which is what? Shoot. I'm missing it. Card color. Okay, so that's going to pass through that to the navigator. Why cannot I think? Let's go. Card color here. $20 seconds. Okay. Add finals. Card color. Save. Done. Go back. Yay. Width. And it's up. All right. Damn. Well, we got that far. That's not even what the app does, but at least I was able to pass some stuff around, do some cool stuff. It is what it is. That's how far we got today. Thanks for watching.